Hey, the overhead or the smash is one of the easiest looking shots in tennis, which is why so many people struggle with it. They either get tight because they put themselves under too much pressure, or they go too big with it, causing a mistake. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 simple tips that can help you to put your smashes away. And if you hang around to the end of the video, I'll show you a simple exercise that you can do on your own to maximize your potential. So let's get straight into the tips. My first tip is the most important tip, and it's to be decisive with your smash. Now, when it comes to making decisions when you're hitting your overhead or your smash, it comes down to a couple of things. Number one, you need to decide whether you're hitting an attacking smash or a defensive smash. And this really comes down to how well your opponent has hit their lob. If you're able to get yourself behind the ball for your overhead, then you should be looking to finish the point with it. However, if your opponent's lob is so good that you can't get behind it, then you can opt for a more defensive overhead. Now, the reason I usually opt for the word overhead as opposed to smash is because power is not your only option. In fact, I feel that accuracy and precision is far more important than power. Generally, if you're hitting with power, you have to keep your overhead quite linear, straight down the court. That's going to head towards your opponent. If you want to pull your opponent slightly wider, you can actually take a little bit of pace off the ball, giving yourself the ability to hit your smash slightly shorter, breaking the sidelines, forcing your opponent to move out of court. I see so many players waiting to see where their opponent is going to move to. This causes late preparation and often an unforced error. My suggestion is to pick a spot and stick to it. Even if your opponent runs that way, if you stick to your initial decision, you're far more likely to execute the overhead really well. And even if they do get there, it's going to be very difficult for them to get it back. And if they do, you'll be all set to put the ball away on the very next shot. My next tip is about how you move to hit your overhead, which is an area that lots of people get wrong. Most of the time, when your opponent hits a lob, you're going to have to track backwards before you can step forwards on to hit your overhead. Unless your opponent hits a super weak lob, in which case it's going to be much easier as you can just step forwards and put it away. Now, the most efficient way to move backwards is not by backpedaling. When you backpedal, you can't move very quickly and you're going to feel quite off balance. So what you need to do as soon as you've made your split step and seen the lob go over your head is to make your unit turn. Now, I've described the unit turn in plenty of other videos as you do it on your forehand, your backhand and your volleys. But your unit turn is simply turning your entire body in preparation to move. Now, in this case, because we're moving backwards, making this unit turn straight away, it puts your hips sideways on, allowing you to do one of 2 things. If you don't have to travel very far, you can sidestep back behind your overhead like so. However, if your opponent hits a much deeper lob, you may need to make a much bigger crossover step to get behind the ball. As long as you can get your body behind the ball before you start your swing, you're going to be in a good position to hit a good shot. So before I get into my final tip, if you've got anything out of this video so far, let me know in the comments below and hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel as I post these videos weekly. Anyway, my final tip before I get into the drill that you can do on your own is about the mechanics of the overhead. Now, you should know that it's very, very similar to a serve. However, one of the main differences is the unpredictable nature of the oncoming ball. Although if you've got a wonky ball toss, you might be used to it. But due to the fact that the oncoming ball is so unpredictable, it comes to you at different speeds, at different heights, with different spins, you need to make sure that your backswing or your take back is super efficient. You don't always have enough time to execute your normal service backswing. So what I would suggest is try to have a more abbreviated backswing. Instead of preparing your racket in this pendulum motion to get into this position here, try to prepare your racket straight back into this position straight away. Now, yes, normally on a serve, I wouldn't advise pausing in this trophy position as you do lose some of your momentum and fluidity. However, on the smash, like I said before, power isn't always your number one option. Being prepared is, as you're very, very limited with time. So going back to tip 2, from your split step, when you make your unit turn, you should prepare your racket straight away as well. As soon as you get into this position, you're all set. All you need to do is move your feet into the right position and execute your swing. Now, all three of these tips link directly together, and they should all be done simultaneously, which if you don't do any of them is going to be really, really difficult. Hopefully you already do one or two out of these three tips. So for you, it's going to be simply adding the ones that you're not doing. So the next time you practice your overhead, it might be that you're working on your decision making. It could be that you're working on making your unit turn even quicker and more efficient. Or it could be that you're working on that abbreviated action. By focusing on one of these things, you're far more likely to make big improvements to your overhead. Now, as promised, here is a drill that can help you to practice all three of those tips without the need for a hitting partner or a tennis court. All you need is a wall that's situated near a flat surface that's roughly the length of half of a tennis court. And using one tennis ball, you want to take around 10 big steps away from the wall. And you're going to throw the ball up as if you're serving, but you're going to hit your serve down into the floor just in front of the wall. The ball will bounce up onto the wall and it will come back in a very high arced trajectory so that you can start working on your overheads. Aim all of your overheads to land just before the wall and you'll see that you'll be able to get some rallies going. The reason this is a really good way to practice is it really limits your time. As soon as you've hit your serve, you have a very small amount of time to prepare for the next one. So it's going to force you to prepare your unit turn, your abbreviated swing, and to make your decision nice and quickly. Now, of course, when you're playing on your own, you're not going to be looking to put the ball away. So the decision making might go out of the window, but at least you can practice the two technical parts of my 3 points, and you can refine your decision making when you get back onto the tennis court with a hitting partner. So there you go. Thanks as always for watching. If you've got any suggestions for future videos, let me know in the comments below, or if you have any questions, do the same. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.